Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today you might have heard that there are some very big news updates for the Division 2 and a new roadmap that was released that we need to go over and cover and talk about because there's some very huge developments that went down there. Now, obviously, this is kind of inconvenient timing because all of this came out yesterday. It always seems with some of these biggest things that it's always on days when I'm just not around to cover stuff. I left the door at like 7 a.m. and then 20 minutes later I checked my phone, and sure enough, they dropped all of this news. So I apologize that this is coming in a bit late, but the kind of advantage to this happening is that instead of just being able to give my first reactions on the stuff that these tweets say, I have been able to kind of comb over the additional details that the devs put out on their own Twitter feeds, also formulate some of my own thoughts on it. So this should be a bit more of an in-depth coverage of the new stuff that we have coming our way, the kind of updates on the new timeline and all of that stuff. So should be good. Without further ado, let's get into it. So before getting into anything else, I just want to read the tweets themselves that the game put out yesterday. The first one here reads, the Division 2 roadmap has been updated coming in December and the first half of 2023. Dark Path Apparel Event, Lucky League and General Anderson Manhunt, Winter Cheer, Season 11, Year 5, and Descent game mode. And then they have a picture here of the roadmap update, and we'll go over that very shortly. They then had one other tweet where they said there was an update to a tool that caused an issue with our voice build system. Unfortunately, the impact of this issue will delay the Manhunt Apparel Event and Season 11 for several weeks. We will provide more details as to when these will go live at a later date. Alright, so there was a general bit of confusion about when some of these things will actually be going live, and again, that's part of why it's nice that I'm able to now cover this kind of 24 hours later, because I've been able to kind of piece together exactly what should be coming out when, and I believe this is pretty much the full comprehensive list. So let me go through the new timeline, let you all know kind of what is happening with that, and then I'll give some of my thoughts on these delays and whatnot. So starting with the lucky target for Season 10, the final sub-target, and TU 16.3 should be coming out on November 15th. That is still this coming Tuesday. It will not be the apparel event. It will not be the final General Anderson Manhunt. That is being delayed until December, but the lucky target itself and TU 16.3 should be coming in a few days on Tuesday the 15th, so at least we have that coming. Then in December, you can see on the roadmap right here, we have the Dark Path Apparel event, which is ironic because it's more Halloween themed than anything. The Lucky League will be coming then, and the Prime Target General Anderson Manhunt will be unlocking in December instead of immediately when you defeat Lucky. And again, they said that was impacted by their voice build issue tool. I don't really know what that means, but apparently that caused a delay to the Manhunt, and that's pushed back both that and Season 11, which we will get to shortly. So those things are coming in December. Also in December concurrently, or maybe a little bit later, of course we don't have exact timings yet, we have the holiday event for the game, which apparently is called Winter Cheer, or maybe that's just what they codenamed it. Either way, that is coming in December as well, and there seems to be a few interesting details about that we'll get to in a second when I, give some of my more thoughts on it, but that is coming in December. Then in early 2023, we have Season 11, as you can see right there, with the new prime target of Stovepipe, which is an interesting name. I'll be very curious to kind of find out more about that. Obviously, Season 11 is the one that the devs have been hyping up for a long time, story-wise. So I'm glad that's not being pushed out indefinitely along with Descent or anything like that, but Season 11 itself will be coming early 2023, and I would guess that means first week of February. That's my best guess as of right now, and again, we'll talk a bit more about that in just a second. And then the last thing on there, as you can see, Year 5 is coming in spring 2023. I would guess that means May, right around a year after TU 15 went live, and they're going to do a live stream talking about their entire Year 5 plans, not that dissimilar from the Season 9 one that we got. It's going to bring Year 5 Season 1, which is interesting that they're kind of starting over from, instead of doing Season 12, they're going back to Season 1. That is not a repeat. They have confirmed this is a new season, but they're just coining it Year 5 Season 1, and then that will also finally bring us the Descent game mode delayed from Season 11 and TU 17. Alright, so now let's transition into some of my own thoughts about all this stuff. The first one being, of course, delays suck. I don't think anybody in the community or the dev team at all is happy about this stuff happening. I mean, Palais and Morden all put out their own individual tweets about it and stuff, and it's just, it's unfortunate. Year 4 is going to go down as a year that had a ton of potential, but was really kind of snagged and held back by just some of the, widespread issues that we saw plague the game. And that's not, and some people are going to call me an apologist, and that's fine. That's not really always going to be the developer's fault. Obviously, they're the ones controlling these timelines and whatnot, but when you bring in a new team, when you have this stuff happen, It's just kind of bound to happen. That doesn't necessarily justify it in any way. That doesn't make it okay. That doesn't make it fun for anybody, but that's just the reality of the situation, which is kind of what I've tried to stress in a lot of my previous videos. So we know that the team has been growing. We know they, I think, have by now hired an actual game director to fill in that role, which is usually a pretty important role. They're still growing, and I think, pretty much fleshing out a lot of their team. And Pale said recently that it's now to the point where he's not necessarily involved with all the decisions happening because there's enough people in enough departments that they can all handle their own issues. So I really hope that, especially by the time we get to the kickoff of year 5, this is all really cemented, the team is really familiar with things, and we can just have a much more smoother experience moving forward. Because it's not fun for me, it's not fun for you, it's not fun for anybody that these timelines and dates just constantly shift and get pushed back. No one likes that. So I really hope this roadmap is kind of the last big shakeup that we have to have occur, and then from here on out, once year 5 kicks off, we can really see a bit much, a smoother production pipeline. That would be really nice, but we'll see. That's all I can really hope for. Going through this timeline a bit, obviously December is now going to be a pretty decently big month. We have the new apparel event, the prime, the finale of season 10, the new exotic with the Doctor Home, and then the holiday event. The holiday event is an interesting one because it seems like this time around it might be a bit bigger than the ones that we've seen in years past. The reason I say that is because obviously they name it Winter Cheer here, and it says activities and presents, and the previous holiday events for the Division 2 have never brought any activities. So I'm interested to see what that's going to mean. Also, I saw somebody post a picture of a tweet that Pale put out a few days back where he said that they're looking to do something a bit different with the Christmas event this time around. So I sincerely hope that there is a bit more meat on the bone of this holiday event this time around. I think we could really use that given a lot of this stuff is being delayed. We need some stuff to fill in the gaps here while we wait for season 11 and, TU18 with the kickoff of year 5. So I'm eager to get more details on that, and that'll be really cool to see. Really hope there's some more to do there. The next one is season 11, as you can see there, early 2023. Again, I think that'll come like really early February. That's my best guess as of right now. But the big question that I want to know is, because the descent mode is being, moved off of there, is season 11 still really bringing any content? Like, I don't think there's going to be any big content addition, otherwise they would name it here, but is it still going to bring the full capacity of TU17, which includes the PvP changes that they were planning? Is the ETF going to, have its formation before then? Are they going to impact that? That's a lot of the questions that I still have right now, and I'm going to try and get some answers on that, and of course I will relay them to you all if I get them, because I know myself and a lot of you are curious about that. And yeah, I really want to know if that's still on track, or if those PvP changes are now also moving to year 5 season 1. Like, I just don't know what the status is because they don't mention it here. And really curious to find out what the status is on those things. But like I said, the devs have been hyping up season 11 quite a bit over the past months, and so I hope that on its own it's pretty cool. That's all I can hope for. Then, of course, we have year 5 season 1 in that big update that's coming again in spring 2023. I think that'll mean May. Should be a pretty big update. I mean, of course, there's not a lot coming until then content-wise, so it's gonna bring a lot of stuff. Obviously, we have the descent mode, season 1 of year 5. Again, interesting that they're going back to season 1. It'll be curious to see how that develops. I don't think there's too much I can really speculate on that right now, but it would be like if they can bring descent and season 1 and the specialization rework all in that one update, it would pretty much mirror the size and scope of TU15 and season 9 from earlier this year, and I think that would be another big win for the game. So I really hope that they can make this update, the first season of year 5 really big, kick it off well, and then, like I said earlier, just keep things rolling throughout the year. That would be our dream. I really hope that they can pull that off because I think we really need some stability after how inconsistent year 4 has been so far. And like I said, obviously it sucks. It sucks that Descent is not coming next month, and it's probably going to be several more months before we get it in our hands, but I hope that means that it comes, relatively bug-free. I hope it's a fleshed out experience and that it's worth the wait. That's really all we can hope for. And in the meantime, we do have some stuff coming up. Again, I'm excited to find out what the winter holiday event will be about. Excited for the finale of season 10. Season 11 will fill us in. In the meantime, there's stuff coming, and obviously, things on the horizon like Heartland that we'll talk about soon in upcoming videos, but there's still stuff to look forward to. Again, delays suck, but you can really just hope for the best outcome on the other side of it and hope that things are better moving forward. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to be updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this latest roadmap and news update for the Division 2. What do you think about the fact that the Descent mode is being delayed like 4 or 5 months? What do you think about the fact that Season 11 isn't coming until next year? all the stuff, and what do you think, especially, I really want to know your thoughts on this, what you think that holiday event is going to contain. I feel like there could be some fun surprises in there. It says activities and presents. That's got to mean something. So yeah, I'll be curious to find out about that and hear your thoughts on any and all of the topics that we covered today. I know a lot of people are going to be very upset by this, and that's totally warranted, but as always, I just ask that you keep things civil down in the comments down below. But yeah, other than that, we'll be very curious to hear all of your thoughts. There'll be lots more to talk about in the coming weeks here about all this stuff and what's next for the game. But until then, that's going to do it for me today, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.